Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this Kirby and the Amazing Mirror 80% tournament race between Kinnin11 and golderzoa. We should be on the race layout right now since this race has started, but I guess I'll commentate as usual anyways. Both players getting first try wheel mix. Okay, so in this intro section, we saw the runners do two really quick tricks. We saw them do gate skip, which normally would require you calling the other Kirbys. And instead, we're just going to hit the button and jump over. And the second one was a mix for wheel. There we go. There's the race layout. Okay. So, mixes in this game. If you inhale two enemies, you'll get a ability roulette. This roulette will start at the same position every time, depending on which enemy entered your stomach first, which means that the Sword Knight is going to enter first, and the timing for getting wheel is the same every time, making it a 4-frame trick if you can get it just right. And we want to mix for wheel because it is the most overpowered way of horizontally getting through rooms. It's very fast. You have lots of invincibility frames, so the only way you can take damage when you're in wheel is if you're turning around, initially starting up, or you fall into a pit by some horrible set of circumstances. Both these racers neck and neck heading to the first warp star here. So the goal of any percent, of course, is to get the end credits in any means necessary, and that means in Kirby the Amazing Mirror, defeating all 8 bosses, repairing the center mirror in the hub room, and defeating Dark Mind. Now, the game starts off in a linear sequence all the way to King Golem, but after that, players can engage the remaining 7 bosses in whatever order they desire. Alright, they're going to discard wheel, get the double star from the Waddle Dees, re-inhale wheel, and 3 hits later, Frosty's down, and this is an excellent race so far between Kinnin and Golder. So, Kinnin11, he's been speedrunning Kirby the Amazing Mirror for quite a bit, on and off. His PB is uploaded to speedruns.com 3 years ago with a high 30, an excellent time. golderzoa, to my knowledge, a newer player to this game, which is one of my favorite things about these speedrun tournaments. You see all these new people who are picking up the game because of it, and it's sort of like a nice adrenaline shot to the community. We get to meet all these awesome new cool people and really energize the community. And Kinnin losing wheel, but golderzoa also losing wheel. Golder could have capitalized on that. Alright, wheel is great and all, but we will be discarding it for stone here in a moment because we are just a room away from the boss, and stone absolutely ruins it. golderzoa having a bit of problems inhaling these golems, which do require a full inhale to get in your mouth. So, all you need is 3 double hit stone drops, and Golem is dead. And there you go, there's the first boss of the game. Oh, Golder missing the first rock jump, unfortunately, but that's fine. Alright, we're going to see a soft reset there by Kinnin, because once that screen fully fades to white, the save RAM has updated that you beat the boss, and we can skip the Kirby Dance cutscene and get right to the action, where Kinnin's picking up wheel and going to the Rainbow South Gate. golderzoa not too far behind. So, a large majority of this run does consist of very tight and fast wheel movements. Now, although wheel makes you invincible and you can run through as many enemies as you want without any risk, the problem is that whenever you hit an enemy, and oh, speaking about hitting an enemy, Kinnin losing wheel. The problem with hitting enemies in this game is that the effect when you do hit them creates up to, I believe it's 3 frames of lag. And although that might not seem like a whole lot, it really adds up over the course of the run. So we're going to see our runners try to avoid hitting enemies and objects as much as possible, hoping to speed through rooms cleanly without too much delay. So Kinnin's going to be grabbing this south switch. If you're not familiar with Amazing Mirror, there are these switch rooms scattered all across the world, which allow you to backtrack and continue searching for bosses. We won't be getting a lot of the switches, but we're going to get a couple of them so that we can turn later and quickly go to another segment or boss. So this south gate basically opens up Radish Ruin, all of Ocean, and then heading to Carrot. However, both runners are going to be going to, I believe, Radish Ruins first. This is a very common route, and Kinnin losing wheel! Oh, not setting up the backup wheel mix, though. golderzoa has potential to save a lot of time here on Kinnin. It depends on if Golder can do the spike maze and the vertical room coming up cleanly. The vertical room that Kinnen's in right now can be quite tough for newer runners to pass through without losing wheel accidentally. But golderzoa also losing wheel in the spike room. But he's going to be going for the mix. And gets wheel! Excellent mix there by Golder. Nice backup. Kinnen's going to be doing Molly first. I don't think I've seen this before in my life. Alright, golderzoa. A bit messy, but hasn't lost wheels, so we'll take that as a W. So normally people do Molly after defeating the boss of Radish Ruins, Meta Knight, since it's just right there and stone is on the way. Kinnin, I guess, already having lost wheel, is deciding to do this right off the bat. That's not bad on the fly thinking. So for Molly, there are two options runners use to defeat him. One is using throw, which is the most optimal strategy if you get good RNG. However, hammer is also just as good if Molly decides to waste your time on the ground, because those up hammer swings do insane-o damage. Unfortunately, this strategy doesn't do a whole lot if Molly's on the ceiling, so hammer's not super paying off. But here's that damage! 3 golf swings! Oh, unfortunately, Kinnin not doing it super clean. Oh, not enough for a spit, unfortunately. Alright, Kinnin having a lot of problems with Molly right now, unfortunately. And there we go. And that's the first boss down for Kinnin. Another reason people generally tend to do Molly a bit later is because it is one of the easiest segments in the game. However, a lot of runners tend to do Molly second because it's the most RNG laden. As you see, Kinnin had a lot of trouble there with the patterns that Molly gave him. He was unable to do a lot of good damage. golderzoa moving into this hands fight. This fight can go really well or really badly depending on what pattern you get. Going for the grab, missing out on a bunch of damage there, but that's fine. Oh, unfortunately, Golder had to deal 1 more point of damage. That's a relatable mood. Alright, Kinnin re-grabbing wheel, losing a bit of time there, but that's fine. He'll be wheeling through Radish Ruins. Lots of support for golderzoa in the chat right now. Kinnin is the favorite to win this match, but you never know. Oh, not hitting the mirror. Those mirror enemies that guard those mirrors, if you sprint near them or bonk, you'll scare them and have to reload the room, so Kinnin almost had an issue there. Great vertical section there by Golder. So golderzoa is going to be heading into Meta Knight. Most runners choose to do this fight with sword. Now, although Meta Knight can randomly decide to block your attacks, you can somewhat manipulate his patterns by sliding into him. If you slide into him while Meta Knight's on the ground, he's way more likely to do a jump attack, just like you saw Golder do, which can lead to a lot of damage if you do the mid-air sword flip. golderzoa not having a bad Meta Knight. Golder picks up his second shard. Alright, Kinnin decided to float up this vertical room, although it's safer. In Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, it's actually most optimal to unpuff and then jump on the platforms, as you see Kinnin doing here, because the initial jump speed is much faster than your upwards float speed. Alright, Golder doing Molly second. So we'll be able to see who's more ahead here in just a moment. Now, Golder can gain a lot of time on Kinnin here if he has a very smooth Molly fight. So let's see how that works out in just the next room. Kinnin also choosing to do Meta Knight with sword. Golder taking this bonkers fight very cleanly. Oh my goodness, this Meta Knight from Kinnin! Oh, unfortunately taking a hit there. But other than that, that was very smooth and clean. So it appears that Kinnin has a little bit of a lead here. Golder doing the throw strat. So for the throw strat, you wait until Molly throws an object, turn around and rub that object on Molly's face. Unfortunately, Molly is wasting a lot of time here. Oh, doesn't get the bomb! Why is Kinnin going back to Radish Ruins? Did Kinnin not soft reset in time? Oh my goodness, did Kinnin not soft reset in time? Does somebody know? I was paying attention to how Golder's Molly's doing, which is not going fantastic, may I add. But that's just Molly. Oh my god, this is terrible if Kinnin didn't soft reset on one of the longest segments in any percent. golderzoa picking up the Molly shard. It appears that Kinnin didn't get the mirror shard. Oh my god. That might turn the tide of the whole race. golderzoa trying to remember where to go right now. Decides to go for a wheel. That's usually a good start. And then holding L. Okay. I don't know if holding L here is faster or slower. I don't think I've ever timed that, but it feels to me it'd be slower. Our Golder appears to be going up to the carrot section. This could mean that Mega Titan or Hands could be up next for Golder. Usually, the beginner any percent route does Mega Titan next. Kinnin have an okay Master Hand there. So golderzoa has an insane lead of Kinnin is an entire Radish Ruins behind. Very, very unfortunate. golderzoa picking up the candy. Not a lot of runners get this, but it does help out for the vertical room. And if you're running through a Gordo with candy, you don't get lag frames as well. So with candy, you can just hop up this room. Oh! golderzoa is not worried about re-picking up wheel there, because there is a wheelie quite conveniently at the top of this room here. Alright, Kinnin's first Meta Knight went well. Let's see if his second can do it. A boss so nice, we're fighting him twice. So golderzoa is doing Mega Titan. Alright, this Meta Knight is a bit sloppier, but that's not due to Kinnin's fault. Wasting a little bit of time there. Alright, so golderzoa is moving into the Cannon Spike Maze. Most runners choose to discard their ability, re-inhale it so that if they accidentally mess up there, as Golder did, their ability does not get lost into the spikes. They can keep it, swallow it, and go into this vertical section. Alright. This might be a huge upset if Golder has a scot-free rest of the section here. Oh, unfortunately, getting hit by the Gordo here, that's a big time loss. Since making that first cycle does save a whole bunch of time. Oh, it doesn't get the wheel through and bonks. I'm not sure if Golder is listening in on my commentary to know how much of a lead he has. That'd be a huge confidence booster if he knew exactly what position that Kinnin was in right now. However, Kinnin has the potential to catch right up. Alright, Mega Titan is a special boss for the any percent speedrun because he's the only boss that you're going to be fighting with wheel, which allows you to actually make it be faster to watch the shard cutscene and the Kirby dance, which allows you to keep wheel into the next segment. So we're not going to see golderzoa soft reset after getting this shard. A very good Mega Titan. Unfortunately, not getting the super speed strat at the beginning, but that is fine. It's a little tight to hit. So golderzoa enjoying the Kirby dance as Kinnin is entering Carrot Castle. So Golder is an entire Carrot Castle segment ahead. So golderzoa keeping wheel. And, ooh, I don't agree with this right now. He's going up to Candy Constellation. Normally, you want to keep wheel for a segment, which you'd have to visit the Rainbow East door to see wheel. We've seen our runners picked up wheel there about 3 times now already. Because there is a wheelie at the top of that Goro room we saw golderzoa use the candy through. And that can save a bunch of time if you grab that, so... most players decide to do Gobbler after Mega Titan if they're electing not to do the mix setup that's become popular recently. So golderzoa is going up to Candy Constellation, Kinnin entering the Mega Titan fights. Kinnin behind by quite a bit here. Alright, Kinnin gets the reverse hit. If you hit Mega Titan from underneath in a specific way, he gets blown backwards and the fight is made ever so slightly faster. Excellent work there by Kinnin. Oh, he's on track to do perfect. Very, very good Mega Titan by Kinnin. That's time he desperately needs back here against Golder. Alright, golderzoa doing probably the most annoying mini-boss fight because it's very easy to mess up, but doing it great. So golderzoa is on his way to Candy Constellation, which is one of the trickiest segments in the game. There's a lot of really hard wheel movement here, and losing wheel can basically spell disaster. So if Golder can maintain wheel through this segment, ooh, that bomb. If Golder can maintain wheel through this segment, that's a huge gain here. Kinnin is on his way to Gobbler right now, doing as I said. So normally, if you were to do this segment in a vacuum, you'd need to grab wheel from the Rainbow East gate. However, Kinnin keeping wheel from Mega Titan, saving time there. Alright. Golder taking it safe by doing the upper path. Now, Candy Constellation also has a bunch of really difficult rooms right after another to newer players. So Kinnin electing not to get this switch. Now that switch, if players elect to get it, isn't for fast traveling. It's actually for access to that missile ability statue, which some runners decide to use during the Krakow segment. However, if you are not very great with missile, it can actually end up wasting more time than it's worth, so some runners elect not to do it. golderzoa having a lot of trouble in this grid maze. This is one of the most annoying rooms here, but coming up next is a room that ends newer runners runs all the time. The star block room to the warp star. Hopefully golderzoa can keep wheel. Playing it really safe here. Oh jeez. And that's exactly why this room can be so difficult, is because you got all these extra things you could be inhaling. golderzoa almost losing wheel, but making it out. Alright, Kinnin is going to be ditching wheel here in just a moment for a trick called UFO Mix. So we're going to be air blasting this Foley into the other. Unfortunately, Kinnin did not grab both of them, but if you inhale them both, you have a chance of getting UFO or fire. They're right next to each other in the ability roulette, so it makes it an 8-frame trick. All you need to do is the setup, and most runners generally get it. But since Kinnin missed out on it, he doesn't really want to waste time going for it again, so he's going to do another cool trick called Sword Skip, which involves calling your friends, footstooling them, so getting on their head, and then doing the up B sword attack to hit a bomb block through a wall and skip this whole room. Hopefully Green Kirby here is going to play ball. Unfortunately not. This is why I generally dislike this trick, is because you have to rely on your friendly Kirbys for that footstool to get the up B to hit that bomb block. And sometimes they just like to waste your time. Usually I like to rub up against that left wall. And there we go, Kinnin doing it. As you see here, red Kirby. Oh, my goodness. A lot of time being wasted here by Kinnin. Alright, while Kinnin's doing that, golderzoa is picking up Missile. Since I believe golderzoa will not be doing Missile Krakow, this is the only time we're going to see Missile in this run. Missile is the fastest way to horizontally move through rooms. However, it is quite infamously hard to control on a D-pad. Kinnin getting through Sword Skip finally, losing a lot of time there. You do not want to see it when he's already an entire Radish Ruin section behind. Not super great here for Kinnin. Golder is going into the hands fight, and the strategy for this is to pick up fire, which it has a very large... Oh, decided to go with sword, actually. So golderzoa is going to be spamming up B, I assume, and calling the boys. Oh, we got parasols, so that's a bunch of damage there. So normally the strategy people use is they use fire. Oh my goodness, immediately finishing off the right hands. People usually use fire for this fight since it has that wide cone, that wide area of effect that you can potentially use to hit both hands at once for a quick kill. golderzoa not soft resetting after this fight. Interesting. Alright, so Kinnin just discarded, Kinnin just picked up stone here. Kinnin is hoping to get stone and keep it all the way until the boss, Gobbler. Gobbler is among the many bosses in this game that's absolutely ruined by stone, but to get there, Kinnin has to navigate this swimming section, and if he were to get hit, he's lost stone and he can't re-inhale it to get it back. Oh my gosh, that Sword Knight saying no. Alright, Kinnin should be fine now. He might elect to pick up this maximum tomato. He will. golderzoa is right behind Kinnin here, going into the Gobbler segment. So now golderzoa's lead is now extended to almost an entire candy constellation. Kinnin almost getting... He was in position to get the one cycle, but unfortunately Gobbler was not playing ball. If Gobbler were to spit out those guppies that he sometimes spits out, dropping a rock in that manner, you might hit the guppies, stay in the air, or stay inside of Gobbler's hitbox because of the hit lag they create, and you can potentially one cycle it. We saw MK Cocoon pull that off in his match against a Music Quill about a week ago. So here's the wheel I was talking about that golderzoa missed out on. That wheelie could save a tiny bit of time, having to go back all the way to that Rainbow East gate. golderzoa having a bit of trouble here. Oh my goodness, golderzoa has a school of fish to deal with here. Thankfully, he deals with it. Kinnin deciding to do Whiz right now. Generally, people leave Whiz until later in the run because it is probably the easiest segment in the game. The wheel movement is not a whole lot going on. The only thing complicated about it gets is some advanced runners might choose to mix for a hammer in a rather difficult setup right before the boss room. We'll see if Kinnin decides to go for that, but for now, it's just easy cruising. golderzoa going for UFO mix. I saw him practice this earlier in the stream, doing the very interesting float cancel strategy, and it pays off getting fire. UFO and fire both work to get that bomb block through the wall that you saw Kinnin struggle to get by doing sword skip. So if golderzoa can get this bomb, that's even more time game on Kinnin. Kinnin not going for the hammer mix. He's going to be defeating Whiz with Parasol, which is the de facto strategy. Parasol deals damage every single frame it's out, so we're going to be holding that in front of Whiz's face and dealing constant damage. golderzoa gets through, and that's a huge time gain on Kinnin. So yeah, already Whiz's health bar is already at half with these Parasol strats. And you can just float underneath Whiz and do extra damage that way. And there we go. That's Whiz down. So even though Kinnin might be ahead one boss, the remaining bosses that Kinnin has, he still has to do Candy Constellation, one of the longest segments in the game. All golderzoa has to do after he pays Gobbler Visit is the Krakow and Whiz segment, which are two of the quickest segments. If you are perfect, you can do Krakow in about 2 minutes 5 seconds. Whiz is not also in that ballpark. Alright, golderzoa picking up stone as well. Deciding to pick it up from the giant rocky instead of the smaller one below. I'll get that too, why not? golderzoa wants to get, almost going into the farthest to the right chute there. Players want to go to the one that's second from the right, since there's no interruptions, you can just hold down and be fine. So hopefully golderzoa can keep stone through this section. If he were to lose stone here, that'd be a big time loss. Alright, in this room, Kinnin is hoping to get an invincibility candy from the Shadow Kirby instead of a maximum tomato or 1-up. That'll allow him to quickly dispatch. He gets it! That'll allow him to quickly dispatch the battle fire that's in the next room, and he can hold off getting stone until the ability statue that's right before the fight. Oh my goodness, battle fire just needs one hit. There we go. Golderzoa in Gobbler. Fortunately, Gobbler not playing ball, but he's swimming right into position for a second stone drop. Very quick fight there by Golder. Now, the strat for Krakow is exactly what we just saw. The strat for Krakow is exactly the same we saw Golder do to Gobbler. 6 stone hits, so 3 double hit drops. And Kinnin from below! Excellent move there, getting Krakow. Kinnin only needs one more boss, but like I said, that boss is Master Hand and Crazy Hand, a very long segment. Golderzoa is getting whiz over with. This would be an incredibly close race, the biggest point of the match so far. Kinnin soft reset too early after the the Dark Meta Knight fights and had to redo that entire section over again. That might be what loses him this race. We'll see how close the two of them are after Golderzoa picks up the Krakow Mirror Shard. He's on his way to Wiz right now, though. Oh my goodness, having a bit of trouble with these ice physics. I'm sure we've all been there. Oh, Kinnin having a bit of trouble with this Frosty fight. There we go. Kinnin is on his way to Candy Constellation. Kinnin needs to have a perfect candy if he wants to be in this match against Zolder. God, I'm all speech jammed now. Golderzoa. If Kinnin loses wheel here, that might be race goodbye no matter how bad Golderzoa's Dark Mind 4 can get. And reminder, that's still a major part of this run left. The final boss, Dark Mind, is known to completely swing matches in runners' favors. If you were here yesterday for the Urnator DK3 fight, everything fell to pieces for Urnator. He was ahead of DK3 going into Dark Mind, but unfortunately some really rough patches caused DK3 to move on and knock Urnator to the loser bracket. Speak about knocking people to the loser bracket, Wiz is not having a great day right now. That's another mirror shard for Golderzoa. He just needs to go up to the mountain and fight Krakow for that completed hub mirror. Oh, Kinnin getting hit in the grid room. Oh, that's Scarfy coming for blood! Oh my goodness! Golder, interestingly, doing this segment with wheel. Usually the distance between here and when you need to discard an ability for burning is not usually worth the amount of time spent getting wheel, but let's go, Golder. And you do need to discard for burning since you need to get through the metal blocks, unfortunately, wheeling through. Oh my goodness, just inhale the enemy! There we go. Alright, Kinnin doing the hidey hole strats there. Not the fastest strategy, but it sure is safe, and he's on the Warp Star to the second part of Candy Constellation. Oh, getting hit with the fist there. Now this Master Hand is a way more annoying foe to fight than the Master Hand we saw Kinnin fight twice in Radish Ruins. It's hovering a bit too high off the ground for a mid-wheel jump to hit, so you have to keep unwheeling and jumping into him. Alright, so this room that Kinnin is right now is one of the most easiest way to explain how important the hit lag reduction is. You want to avoid enemies. Runners can take the top part of that room rather than choose to do nothing. Kinnin took the bottom path in the first part there, but the top path in the second part. It can save up to more than half a second if you do that room with the lag reduction strats. Will Golderzoa also get candy? No, unfortunately, dropping some health food there. So Golderzoa is going to have to drop wheel and suck up... Oh, he's doing... Oh my goodness, I don't agree with this at all. Doing wheel with... Or fighting Battlefire with wheel. This is not going to do a lot of damage. You could very quickly one-cycle Battlefire with Stone, and then you can keep Stone through this room. Alright, this match is actually much closer than I anticipated. Both players in their final boss. And oh no, Golder getting hit, and Kinnin might be taken. Kinnin does take the lead here. Golderzoa not having a super great Krakow fight, just needs one more hit. And there's Krakow. Golder is going to be about 15 seconds behind Kinnin going into this final boss fight. We got ourselves a race going on. Alright, so Kinnin is going to start the fight immediately. Soft reset. That tells the game that we've already watched that cutscene. So when we enter the fight for a second time, we can skip a quite lengthy affair with Dark Mega Knight. Golderzoa right behind him. Kinnin calling the boys to make sure the hub room is empty so he can fight Dark Meta Knight mono a mono. This fight is very similar to the fight Kinnin has done twice already this match. You can slide into Dark Meta Knight, force him to jump, and then drop a rock on him. Fortunately, some blocks there. That fight could have been over, but that randomness of Dark Meta Knight... Oh my god, speak about the randomness of Dark Meta Knight. Golder got blocked like 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row, 6, 7 times in a row! Dude, we got Daigo Meta Knight up in here. Don't spit your ability out! Oh, Golder! No! Golder spat his rock out at Dark Meta Knight. Why I'm so sad about that is you see Kinnin there, keeping rock into the fight, getting the double star. Double star is absolutely roast Darkmind here, as you see here. Boom! 1 hit, 2 hit, instantly killing him. Golder is not going to be able to do that strat unless he waits for Darkmind to fire a star. That's a big time loss for Golder. I don't think he got the double star. No, he didn't! So Golder's going to have to inhale fire. Fire doesn't do a too bad of a job. Oh, not getting the double star strategy. Kinnin's going to gain a lot of time here. There's the double star strat from Golder. Unfortunately, this might spell disaster. Kinnin is going to have a really rough Darkmind 4 or have something else go wrong. It's not unheard of. Urnator. Sniper. Thankfully, Golderzoa getting the double star strategy quite good here. Golderzoa electing to get the maximum tomato here. Bit of a safety strat. Kinnin has to do this interim section where he goes around, gets sword, and has to do this, I hesitate to use the word puzzle, but to get that switch. Alright, so this is Darkmind 4. The double star strategy is still on the menu, but it will not do enough damage to one cycle Darkmind. This is a good thing, though, because in this fight, green stars are introduced, and when those are swallowed, it triggers a roulette, and we're going to hope to get UFO out of that roulette, because UFO absolutely destroys the 5th form of Darkmind. Kinnin getting the double star, now he has just to wait for Darkmind to play ball here. Getting a crash bomb. There's double greens! Throw! Throw was one before UFO, unfortunately. There's another chance for Kinnin. There's UFO. Golder getting a lot of these garbage patterns that he's not able to fire the double star at Darkmind. Finally gets lows enough. Good Spark. Hoping for that green star, but Darkmind has wasted his time. Alright, so in Darkmind 5, where Kinnin is, the strategy here is to fully charge a UFO shot and get pure shots in a way that it hits not only Darkmind's eye, but those mirrors he uses to attack. Both of those deal damage. And if you can hit both, you do an insane amount of damage and make quick work of this fight. Golderzoa is still struggling to get a green star here. Oh, never mind. I'm blind. He has UFO already. I should have been more excited about that. Oh, Kinnin might die! Kinnin finishing off with a star there, calling the boys to regain health for the final shoot 'em up section. Oh, golderzoa dodging the mirrors. Alright, so in order to finish the any percent run, Kinnin needs to defeat Dark Mind 6 here in this classic and Kirby game shoot 'em up section. If Kinnin were to die in some unfortunate circumstance, his ally Kirbys are there to save the progress of the fight. That health bar will not reset as long as there's another player in the room along with him. Oh, it's just a love tap. Come on, Zolder, just needs a love tap. Ah! There we go. Dark Mind's down. But Kinnin dies, but as you see there, the health bar is not reset. And there it is! Time for Kinnin at a time of 35 minutes, 54 seconds. An almost disastrous series of events. Kinnin comes from behind to defeat golderzoa. Alright, golderzoa just needs to do the final shoot 'em up section. Oh. golderzoa. Then there it is. Time for golderzoa at a time of 36:31. Alright, joining me now for a post-race interview is Kinnin. Congratulations on your race victory. Yeah, oh my goodness, tell me about that. Okay, so, I guess let's just jump right to it. The unfortunate highlight of the match was that early soft reset in Meta Knight. What happened?
I don't know. It's been a bit of a curse lately with these tournament races. I haven't made a mistake like that, not made a mistake like that even once in this entire tournament.
Were you keeping tabs on the race? Did you know how far you were behind Golder at the time?
I was trying to keep a little bit of tabs, yes. And I noticed it's okay, I'm basically not horribly far behind, but I'm pretty damn far behind.
You had a really good, I was about to say, oh, jeez. Not only did you miss the soft reset, you also ran into a lot of trouble getting sword skip to work as well.
Yeah,
that couldn't have been great on your mind.
Basically, I always try to go for the mix at least once. If I don't get the mix the first time, I just keep going and go for sword skip. Because if you get lucky with sword skip, it will actually kind of equal out on time. So I just went for that, and then the idiots were just being freaking idiots, of course.
and oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and the funny bit is, after that horrible Gobbler split, I golded Wiz and I golded Master Hand and Crazy Hand.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, your Candy Constellation segment was pretty good. One other thing I wanted to ask you about your route is on your way to Radish Ruins, you got hits in, I believe it was the Spike Maze.
Yeah.
Was your plan to always do Molly first, or was that a result of you losing Wheel?
That was a result of me losing Wheel.
Okay.
Because it's just I could go all the way around and grab Wheel, get back, but I might as well just do Molly at that moment. It saves you a good 4 seconds of time to just go for Molly instantly. So yeah.
Alright, so, even with all of that happening, the doing Molly first because you lost Wheel, soft resetting too early at Meta Knight, the bad sword skip, did you think that you were gonna win this fight? What was your morale sort of midway through the run?
Basically, just keep going and see what happens.
Okay. All right. Also joining us in this on-air VC channel is golderzoa. Congratulations on finishing your run. What did you think?
I think I performed better than my last run. I did. I actually got the backup Wheel I didn't expect to get it.
Not only that, but you did it unbuffered. That was awesome. All right, Golder, were you watching the stream at all during your race? Were you?
Nope, I just kept my eye on myself.
All right, so do you know what happened to Kinnin in this race?
No idea. I didn't
right.
watch.
So Kinnin soft reset too early after defeating Meta Knight. So he.
Well, that explains why I got. That's why I explained why he didn't finish as early as I thought he would.
Yeah. So
I thought he was getting like a 33 or something, but
yeah,
like,
you two were neck and neck. Kinnin had just collected the Master Hand Crazy Hand Mirror Shard. You were slightly behind after defeating Krakow. Your Krakow was a tiny bit shakier, but it was neck and neck going into Dark Mind 1, and then you spat your rock out at the Dark Meta Knight fight.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was thinking, then I luckily saved it somehow by combining 2 fires.
Yeah, that's quick thinking either way. But yeah, this is a really close race. Anything else you want to bring up? So you said that you were more happier with this run than your previous run, Golder. So what were you happy about in this run?
Well, I was motivated to actually do the race.
Heck yeah, let's go.
And last race I had a lot of like demotivation and depression, so I couldn't compete as well, and I felt all shooken up by like other stuff, so I couldn't really do it. You know that thing when you just like you just don't want to do it, and then like, yeah,
it just feels like there's like a heavy like load in your stomach. You don't want to move.
Yeah, I needed a break from the game, so that's why I was doing a bunch of other stuff. And I didn't really practice that much. The funny thing is, I did really bad in practice. Like, my practice was like way worse than what I performed today. And I wasn't expecting it to go this well, honestly. I thought I was going to choke in random places. I thought I was going to miss squeal. I thought I was going to do all these different things and just miss all these different things. I'm so glad it worked out the way it did.
So, Golder, correct me if I'm wrong, but you only recently got into speedrunning Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, correct?
Seriously, yes. But 2 years prior, I think earlier, I used to run it. But I didn't take it very seriously. I sort of just did it for fun to compete with someone else, a good friend of mine. And back then, I had like a 53, I believe. I think that was my first uploaded run to YouTube, I think. And I think that was back in 2014, 2015, or 16. I don't remember.
Okay. But you picked up the game again for the tournament, or were?
Yeah, exactly. I picked up for the tournament just to see if I can. My goal was to get a sub 35 before the tournament, so I can have a competitive chance, and I made that goal a reality.
Nice. So I was about to say, even though this was a loser bracket match, unfortunately, golderzoa is going home in this. My question to you is, was it worth it? I guess.
Oh yeah, it was worth it. I learned a lot of new things.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to point out with this tournament and how it has the ability to sort of like get people into the game and get sort of a shot of adrenaline into the community.
My adrenaline was popping during that race. I was like, the entire time. I was trying to get the. I still can't believe I got that wheel mix. I'm still amazed at that. And I just did it. I actually did that, practiced it on buffer for a while. I had like a setup going, but that enemy just kept being in the way, so I could set up properly.
All right. So, Kinnin is moving on in the loser bracket. He's going to be fighting me, actually.
Well, good luck to you, too.
I'm not going to lie. I have a bit of a conflict of interest casting this race. So, Kinnin, you're sort of staying alive in loser bracket. Do you have a goal for this tournament? Like, how far do you think you're aiming to go?
As far as I can get, honestly, I don't really have a goal with these kind of tournaments. I just want to keep going and see how, just have some fun, really.
Heck yeah,
that's races like this where everything everything just goes wrong, and then you just double down and go ham on it. It's a good feeling.
All right, I don't have any further questions for you two. Do any of you have anything further to add before we end this stream?
Yes, I was playing a 3DS VC the entire time.
And?
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Kinnin, do you have anything to add?
Not really, other than my BPM was probably at like 200 at the end there.
Just coming out of your chest at that point.
Oh my lord.
All right, thank you to... Oh, sorry?
Take it easy.
All right, thank you too for joining me for this post-race interview. Congratulations once again goes to Kinnin, winning over golderzoa with a 35-54. That's going to do it for this Kirby the Amazing Mirror Any Percent tournament race. For those of you looking for the next race, it's happening in just an hour or so. It's going to be ATAM versus Pro Hybrid, another loser bracket match. I'm going to be here again, only on the main SpeedGaming channel. I'll be casting bats. Later in the day on a SpeedGaming channel to be announced, we have Music Quill taking on A12 Helton in another loser bracket match. I'm signed up to do it, but we'll see who's there. If you're just tuning in now and are looking for other cool speed gaming stuff going on right now, we have the Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer race happening over on Speed Gaming 1. And then after that's over, of course, is the Kirby and the Amazing Mirror match. But here on Speed Gaming 2, Super Mario Sunshine is happening at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Speed Gaming 4, Super Metroid Link to the Past Daily Race. Okay, follow the runners. These two are excellent human beings, and I'd love it if people could go follow them. You can find Kinnin on Kinnin11, and you can find golderzoa at golderzoa. I've been TG. You can find me at Hey I'm TG. I speedrun this game and a bunch of other meme games, so that's cool. Thank you very, very much to Speed Gaming for all of their behind-the-scenes work to bring you these amazing tournaments every single day. We couldn't do it without them. And that's it for me. I've been TG. Have an excellent day, everybody.
Bye.